Have you ever wondered how God organized the Israelites in the wilderness? It's easy to imagine thousands of people just pitching their tents wherever they pleased, but the reality was far more intentional and meaningful. I used to picture a messy sea of tents, a chaotic sprawl with no rhyme or reason, but God's plan for His people was anything but random. He gave them a structure that reflected His character, orderly, purposeful, and full of deeper meaning. After Moses counted the warriors, God handed him a spiritual blueprint for their camp, a pattern loaded with symbolism and significance. This wasn't just about logistics, it was about teaching the people something profound about who God is and how He wanted them to live. Picture this. In the very center of the camp stood the tabernacle, the special tent where God's presence lived among His people. It was the heart of the camp, a constant reminder that God was with them, guiding and protecting them every step of the way. Surrounding the tabernacle were the Levites, the tribe chosen to serve and protect the sacred tent. They acted almost like a living shield, standing between the holy presence of God and the rest of the people, ensuring that everything was done according to God's instructions. But the story gets even more fascinating when you zoom out and see the bigger picture. The entire camp was arranged with incredible precision, each tribe given a specific place and purpose. On the east, facing the sunrise, camped the tribes of Judah, Issachar, and Zebulun. Their position wasn't random. Judah, in particular, was destined to lead, and from this tribe would one day come kings and, ultimately, the Messiah. These three tribes always set out first on the march, a symbol of hope, new beginnings, and leadership. Their banners would rise with the sun, reminding everyone that God's promises were leading them forward. To the south, the tribes of Reuben, Simeon, and Gad made their camp. Each tribe had its own unique story, strengths, and calling, but together they formed a vital part of the nation's journey. Swing over to the west and you'll find Ephraim, Manasseh, and Benjamin standing strong behind the tabernacle. These tribes represented faithfulness and resilience, holding the rear and supporting the community from behind. Then, anchoring the north, were Dan, Asher, and Naphtali, completing God's circle of order. Their presence ensured that every side of the camp was protected and that no one was left out. Now, this wasn't just about who got the best camping spot or who was closest to the action. The arrangement was a living lesson, a daily visual of God's desire for order and purpose in every part of life. God was teaching His people something huge. Life works best when He's at the center. Everything else finds its place when God is the focus. The tribes weren't scattered by accident. Each family, each clan, each individual had a place and a role, woven together by God's design. Every direction, every family, every role was set by God's design. Nothing was left to chance. Even the smallest details mattered to Him. Order, unity, holiness. These weren't just words. They were the foundation of the community God was building. Think about it. When Israel moved, the tabernacle went first, and the tribes followed in formation. God's presence led the way, and everyone had a part to play in the journey. God led, and everyone had a role to play. No one was left behind, and no one was insignificant. Each tribe's position mattered in the grand design. It's a picture of how my life and yours finds meaning when we center everything around God. When He's at the heart of our decisions, our relationships, and our dreams, everything else falls into place. Maybe you're feeling a little scattered today, like you're wandering in a wilderness of your own, unsure where you fit or what your purpose is. Or maybe you're wondering if your life has a purpose, if there's a bigger plan for you. The story of the camp shows us that God cares deeply about where we are and who we're becoming. This story shows me that God cares about patterns, details, and where you belong. He sees the big picture, but He also notices the small things that make you unique. He invites each of us to be part of His plan, united around His presence. No matter your background or your story, there's a place for you in God's camp. So what about you? How might your life look different if you let God be at the center? Imagine the peace, the purpose, and the sense of belonging that could come from living life God's way. Let me know in the comments below. Was this story meaningful to you? Have you ever experienced a time when putting God at the center changed everything for you? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more short Bible teachings. Thanks for watching. And remember, God's design for your life is more beautiful and intentional than you can